One key takeaway from the session has been that the customer really needs to be at the center of your journey. So understanding what you want to provide to your customer and what your key goals are in collaboration with what they're asking for should really drive how you're developing your business, whether that's how you're expanding your supply chain or how you're changing your fulfillment model or how you're introducing tech into your business. It should be solving what customers want and need rather than you're introducing a brand new tech experiment that customers don't care about.
Obviously, post-COVID, huge amount of change in customer behaviors. Some of that we're seeing, reverting back into in-person shopping and face-to-face experiences, but that shift is still there. And actually, there's an expectation now that everything will be personalized all the time, on demand, delivered to your door within 24 hours. And that's an expectation of doing business, not a differentiator anymore.
It doesn't matter whether you're Unilever, Reckitt, Diageo, Google, we're all facing this challenge of holding the tension between investing where our business is today and investing in growth for tomorrow. And that sense of the importance of needing to experiment, needing to stay really closely connected to consumers, and balancing the resource allocation between those is something that everyone is not struggling with, but certainly managing really, really carefully. What was sort of reassuring to hear around the table is we're being driven by where consumers are, actually, and that's the best way to make those decisions, is understanding where are consumers, where are they going to be, and therefore how do we invest in the right places.
One of the key things that I see as a challenge for all CPGs is the explosion of content and deciding how to and where to play with content. There are so many channels that you could be a part of, but strategically thinking about your consumers and where does it pay off to play in terms of channels, both from a commerce point of view, but also from a marketing point of view.
Within the session today, we talked about some common challenges, profitability in digital commerce. We also talked about sustainability and sustainability of consumer choices. Are you willing to give up convenience for essentially getting your product in a couple of hours or a couple of days? Also packaging dynamics. So how do you make the business model of e-commerce really stand up for your organization? We also talked about the circular economy, returns, and the type of impact that that's going to have, and also new technology and the experimentation culture. And then lastly, I would say talent came up. Talent in the digital space is a premium. How do you keep people motivated? How do you attract them and retain them?
I think there's going to be a big thing where people are going to try and do things at home more often than not, because the pandemic has kind of accelerated that, so to speak. But that's where e-commerce has become strong. And I think it's trying to stay ahead of that curve and making sure businesses are aware of that. It's making sure we stay connected to the customer, but also from an operational perspective, making sure all our different kind of silo teams are talking to each other and making sure we're sharing those different insights. You've got millennials and Gen Z, and they're very, very savvy when they're buying stuff. And e-commerce helps with that, increases their awareness, make sure we're bringing the right information to those different generations. But we're always working hard to try and make sure we're staying ahead of the curve.
I think on the horizon for the e-commerce landscape is a continuation of flexibility and the need for flexibility and the need to be able to flex operations and capacity up and down does lead to continued collaborative working, so more shared user environments, more opportunities to look at sharing resources, whether that is labour, direct labour, or whether that's in the development of some of the shared user robotics technologies and automation that we're seeing within the logistics and supply chain industry. Key to success in 2023 is people and talent development. Fundamentally, we've got to bring the right talent into the supply chain industry. So something that's been a great opportunity is that the last few years have made supply chain a career destination, we are seeing more and more new routes of talent coming through the business and coming through the business to work in different kinds of roles. So if I had to pick a single thing, that would be it for me, people and talent.